Oh my goodness. We're
We
in.
are back.
We're in it. We're already kicking off right into the match.
Yes, sir. Starting perfect time. So we do have George, who is 3-0 on Kaisa. I'm assuming George is probably the maybe is Freedom our bounty player, or is it George? Because both of these players are on Kaisa. Both of these players are um undefeated 3-0. So we did just get confirmation that um George is our bounty player. You guys may recognize George from his top 8 finish in Houston, or from traveling to China, where he did win a Chinese regional open.
Very nice.
I'm not
Very
gonna
nice.
lie, if George is our bounty player, I would not expect many tickets to be given out today. I'm pretty positive George is going to go very, very far in this tournament before he loses a set. That being said, let's see if Freedom is able to be the first person to beat George and win those bounty prize tickets.
I will say I'm going through some of the players that are, well, not to detract from what's happening in the game right now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going through some of the players who are currently undefeated,
Mm-hmm.
and it's interesting. It's interesting to say the least. I expected a lot more Annie.
Interesting.
But not a
That might have just
ton.
been a day one thing.
Yeah. Kind of surprised at the lack of Annie there.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, we're in a match. We got George versus Freedom. Like you said, George is incredibly accomplished. And he's also got the lead here in this game. He's up 2 points. What do we know about Freedom?
I don't think I've actually watched one of George's games since his run in China. So it's going to be interesting to see how much his Kaisa list has changed, to see how much he's evolved as a player. I definitely think he's one of the most practiced, because he like eats, sleeps, and breathes Riftbound right now. Whether it be playing in big tournaments, whether it be traveling. I know he's traveled all around the US for tournaments as well. And I know he does do coaching as well. So he does this. Like, he really does this Riftbound stuff. So it's going to be really cool to see how he's grown as a player.
It is so cool to see someone who's like already so deep in it. Like, he's like, because he's had access to that, like, that groundwork of being able to go to China and play internationally. He has like more experience than literally anyone who's played since release in the US. So
yeah, exactly. For sure.
This is definitely going to be a masterclass in how to approach this Kaisa mirror, which I'm sure he's played at this point hundreds of times, right?
Yeah, absolutely. No red on George's side, though. That's a lot of blue runes. We have double Void Seeker and a Cleave in hand. At least, obviously, he's playing Kaisa, right? So it's not the worst thing in the world, since obviously you can pay the power cost if you need to. And then now he's finally getting access to those red runes. Looks like we do start out with a Void Seeker attempting to take out the Kaisa. Drawing a card.
And that's just going to go down. That's going to work. No retreat or anything to save that.
Yeah. Hexecare, when the sentry tries to move in, George will get a draw, and then will instantly play a replacement sentry before passing back to Freedom.
Facts.
It's definitely a weird scenario. You guys, both players have like so many runes, but don't have
anything else.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't play Kaisa, so I don't have a ton of experience in the mirror, but I have to imagine that it's typical to any other high removal, low unit matchup where this position is going to be very common. You have a bunch of units that are not going to be sticking around for long.
Yeah.
And you're just throwing them away, trying to get up to 6 points so that you can lock the game out.
Exactly, for sure.
Yeah, that's got to be how this matchup lines up. I mean, like, just from a technical standpoint, like, if you've played any sort of, like, if you played Magic the Gathering, it's probably similar to like a mono black mirror or like a Delver mirror where you have low units and a ton of burn spells, that sort of thing.
So do you see the Darius is able to take out Reavers? George does have Watcher in hand. Reavers must be so annoying in like the mirror match, just because like there's so much like back and forth. Again, we've seen it all day today when no one's getting hold points on Reaver's Row. They're all just conquer points, and they're just going back and forth over who has control of this.
Yeah, yeah, it's a very it's funny that it is a pirate ship. It reminds me of those like carnival rides. That's
Exactly,
in the
100%.
pirate ship that like swings left to right. I don't know if you've ever ridden in one of those.
Yeah, of course.
But it's almost identical to that where you're just going back and forth. Um, I wonder if that was part of the design decision there. So that could have been. Anyway, that Darius is pretty chungus. He can also boost himself up if you're able to play two cards on the opponent's turn as well to maybe get out of the burn range, perhaps.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I don't know. Freedom looks like he's kind of card light here, and here comes a Watcher from George. Is that just an exhausted Watcher? Chilling in base?
Yep.
And then that does clear the Darius because it did have damage on it.
Yep. And then we do see the sentry go right back in to retake the Reaver's Row once again, putting George on his 3rd point.
Yeah, George still just firmly in the lead here.
And again, so we do see this is a very similar situation to how last turn was, because last turn George had 1 sentry and Freedom didn't have any units, but now George is able to replace his sentry that was destroyed, and of course have the Thousand Tail Watcher. Now, what's interesting about a lot of back and forth like this is normally the player that goes second in the back and forth will normally always be in a better position because they're always the player that can respond to things. And that might be where we see this game kind of deviate. Like we're going to see George be able to respond and play something, and then Freedom do something, and George responds and plays something. And it's still close right now, but there's definitely a chance that this gets a little bit out of control for Freedom and might be a little overwhelming with how wide George is going to start setting up.
Facts. I think, Kaisa connecting here is good for Freedom. He needs to pick up some more cards, maybe find a Watcher of his own. But yeah, he's in a tough spot. He does have a slight rune advantage. He's backfooting pretty hard here. And that Watcher is looming. I mean, seven might is nothing to
for sure.
scoff at. It's a very annoying number because you can't just use something like a Falling Star to deal with it.
Yeah.
You have to have either the what's the card that like gives it -1 or
Stupefy.
Yeah, you gotta have something else too. And so it's like forces a 2-card combination in order to deal with it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Probably gonna be one of the best cards in the mirror here, next to Darius, of course.
All right, we do see George take the Void Gate with his sentry, scoring his 4th point in the game. And we do see the Void Seeker come down, attempting to target the Kaisa, and hopefully trying to destroy it again and get the draw, which is exactly what he does get. So now that is 2 Kaisas down that George has been able to take out, stopping it from being able to retreat off of Reaver's Row.
Not only taking them out, but taking them out with the Void Seekers. Void Seeker, right?
Void Seeker, yeah. So he's
Void
getting
Seeker
off it too.
Yeah, so he's doing that +1. So it's like he's just keeping his hand advantage high. He's keeping the threats in play very dense. He's constantly been the aggressor here. He's had the point advantage since turn 1. He's identifying what matters and what doesn't matter in the matchup and spending his runes accordingly. He's definitely more practiced in this circumstance. Either that or Freedom's draws just have not been lining up very well.
Yeah, now George, having established a sentry, Accelerate Kaisa, and a Watcher on board, while Freedom only has the sentry. George only does have 2 runes up right now. Could be bluffing a retreat, but obviously we can see from his hand. Looks like double Cleave and a Stupefy, and then double Darius.
Very nice.
Yep, looking like they're okay to trade. Both Kaisa players will draw a card. Looks like George drew a Yordle. Taking a second to try and see how we can dismantle this board without just getting hit on a crackback. Because obviously, like you said, if you want to outright kill the Watcher, you are going to have to do multiple spells. The first one we see is Falling Star, because if you try to just Watcher and then crash into George's Watcher, obviously Reaver's Row is going to go off, and then it's going to basically negate the -3.
Yeah,
But that being
and
said, if he wants to establish, he can drop his own Watcher here because it's basically exactly what George did to Freedom's Darius. He can now do to his Watcher.
the thing about this too is I think he's gonna go Kaisa and the Watcher to try and get this Kaisa out of play, because that seems to be more of an issue than the Watcher.
Yeah, because at this point, the Watcher is just like a 7 my vanilla unit.
Does Watcher? It only gives -3 to the units at battlefields, correct?
No, it's
It does all of them.
your units, your opponent's units. Yeah.
If Freedom had his own Watcher here, he would just completely board wipe.
Yeah. Yeah.
That would be nasty. But unfortunately, he does not. Doesn't look like he does. Or if he does now, he doesn't have the runes for it. So
Here comes the Yordle.
dang, not able to take down that Kaisa. Oh, you got to be happy if you're George here. You get to ready your stuff.
Chat saying
with
Freedom
Kaisa.
did not recycle. And so
Eh.
Falling Star would have been what? 2, tap 1 for Kaisa, recycle 1. How many cards did you play this turn? So that's 5 in units right there. Tap 2 for Kaisa, and then what? 3 for Voidseeker? Yeah, so I think he should have 1. It looked like he paid.
Wait, is he just not recycling any of his runes?
Yeah, I think he missed 2 recycles. I think he missed 1 off the Voidseeker and 1 off the Falling Star.
Okay, I'm surprised neither of them caught that.
I think that's the main issue in Riftbound. Like, I know when this pops up, a lot of people think it's intentional and cheating, but this is one of those games where you're very much so locked in and trying to think like 3, 4, 5 like instances ahead that like you're not like sometimes you do just miss the cost. And obviously it is technically an illegal play, but of course, like it's not intentional and you're just trying to like get to the next thing.
Yeah, this is honestly some week 1 shit. Like low-key, like once people get more practice in the game, this will not be an issue. But I think it's just one of those things where like even George, who has the most experience out of pretty much anyone in tournament Riftbound play, it.
No, what was going on in this game?
What just happened? What went down? A Kathian rain?
Apparently George recycled a red for Singularity. Here, let me bring up the VOD to see if that was the case.
Bros are just playing messy right now. What's going on?
I think we're in day 2 of like so many high-powered games.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking at the VOD. Freedom. Yeah, Freedom missed the Falling Star.
I know that this is like something that a lot of people can run into, but I think a good way to like just build habits and like if you're a new Riftbound player and you want to avoid this sort of happening to you, there's a double Darius that's going to clean up the game no matter what happened there. But I think if you want to avoid this happening to you, the best thing you can do is just pay the cost first then play the card. Yeah, and just develop that habit early and often so that you're never really messing that up. Just pay the cost, then put the card down. Make sure the cost is clean, then put the card down. They were moving pretty quick there. Obviously, this is a grindy matchup, so I understand the time concern, the time fear, but yeah, definitely.
Looking back at the void, looking back at the VOD, it looks like Freedom missed the power cost on the Falling Star. He paid the cost on the Void Seeker. And then I'm a few seconds away from seeing George, but it looks like the players are saying that he just paid the deflect cost on the Poro, and that's what the thing was for.
Yeah.
And we'll set up. This will be perfect time for me to yeah, because now that we're in between games. All right. 1, 2, 3. Portal draw.
Looks like a judge has been informed to speak to them about being more careful with the rune costs.
3, 4,
should be
5,
clarified
6.
For the next game. So all the concerns in the chat have been addressed.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was. Okay, yeah. So looking at it now, as for you watching the George thing, he recycled a 1 blue and tapped Kaisa for Singularity, and then paid a red for the deflect cost from the target Poro. So everything on George's end is legal and up to date. It was just Freedom missed that 1 Falling Star.
Yeah. So hey, we're here and we're locked in, and the judges are locked in, and we're moving into game 2. George is up a game. He looked dominant in that game. He looked like he does not want to give up any of those prize wall tickets. Freedom's got an uphill battle here. I wonder if you want to go first or if the extra rune matters. You probably just want to go first in this matchup always. I really don't see an upside to going second ever.
Normally just for your ramp deck so you can catalyst turn 1.
Yeah, but even then, like
Also, it's just orange in general because you can either catalyst turn 1 or you can Kiana turn 1. Yeah.
Kiana can turn 1. I think still like in Misfortune when I was testing or in the Aurora decks when I was testing, like even though you can Aurora turn 1, usually save the Obelisk of Power for when your opponent makes you go second. And actually, something that comes up too is like if you have the Obelisk of Power and you go first, it's actually usually a better curve out because even a turn 1 catalyst into a turn 2 like Dead Bloom doesn't get you to a turn 3 Aurora, whereas like I think it was like a turn 1 mobilize into a turn 2 Misfortune does get you into a turn 3 Aurora. So this is all Aurora player bullshit. You don't gotta listen to it. Let's lock in for game 2. All right. George is pointing to the sky. He's pointing. He's saying something. What do you think he's saying right now, man?
He's probably referring to the stream if the judges already talked to them.
Yes. When you're playing for $10,000, there is no excuse, says Hercules in the chat. I'm inclined to agree, and it looks like the players are going to be tightening up for this game. The judges are also inclined to agree as well. William says defending cheating is wild. Nobody is defending cheating here, brother.
Yeah, I don't think it was defending cheating or sloppy play. I mean, it's not really defending to say if you're fatigued, you're going to make mistakes. I think that's just common sense, but, to each their own, whatever.
Yeah, if you want to be upset.
Yeah, for sure.
At least you can be upset with some really amazing Riftbound going on in the background.
Yeah, absolutely. This gameplay is like insane levels of gameplay for sure.
Starting off with the Poro. Looks like Freedom did come to the conclusion that he wants to go first.
I find out the Yordle to draw looks like he did get access to his retreat.
Yeah. Yordle's going to draw a new card.
Another Singularity in hand with the access to Falling Star already.
Double Dreaming Tree. We are about to get some extra draws this game, says All Nighter in the chat. I agree. This is going to be a game full of card advantage. If you like drawing cards, this is exactly what you want to see. Stupefy on his own Poro to draw 2
Double
cards.
draw is really good.
Build your own pot of greed. Love it. I think these games typically go to the person who has the point advantage or whoever sees their watcher first.
Yeah.
I could be wrong about that. Or whoever sees more watchers in general.
I think it's normally second, especially in a what's it called? In a game with no Reavers row, I think it's important to be the second player to Thousand Tail, because if you go back and forth, the person that goes second will end with it first, and then will end up with it last and be in a better position.
Yeah, so whoever has the last watcher wins,
for sure.
basically.
Exactly.
Yeah, I could see that. I mean, that's like a typical thing. There's
exactly
variations to this, of course. Looks like retreat plus a draw 1 plus the channel the rune. These Dreaming Trees going crazy already.
Yeah, for sure. Retreat is another one of those cards that's like, it's so good in a Dreaming Tree game. It's just so, because you get the draw and the ramp is just so good.
Absolutely. And like you said, the lack of Reaver's row means that it's going to be fighting over these tooth and nail, and retreat is the only way you can really pull back. That being said, like, oh my goodness, could you imagine?
Singularity, very big Singularity.
Singularity when you have the battlefield is very nice, because now Freedom needs to either Darius or Kaisa to take back that Dreaming Tree.
Mm.
And I think I can't tell if George that would give George a lot of initiative basically because he will then be able to use his spells in his Kaisa, and then again you want to be the second person to
Exactly.
deploy.
Anything that Freedom can does, Kaisa, or anything that Freedom does, George can literally do in response to it. And the
Yeah,
Sentry is an interesting choice because now that's 2 less runes that you're going to have to defend yourself. He gets to draw off the Sentry, obviously. Now, if he goes like Kaisa and like Smokescreen or something, he's in like such a good position. Obviously, will end up having more runes to mess around with than Freedom does to defend himself. So it's very, very interesting.
I see a Time Warp in George's hand, which is
Mhm.
very curious actually. Very curious here. I wonder how that's going to go down into the late game as well. That could be another way to swing, maybe going second back into his favor.
Mhm.
He does have a point disadvantage here, but he has the initiative. So if he's able to take down that Darius and get the Kaisa down, that'd be really good. But I don't think he's going to be able to do that this turn because looking at his hand, oh no, wait, he is a Falling Star.
Uh-huh.
That's
I'm
not
assuming
too bad.
Falling Star Kaisa is probably the follow-up.
Yeah, I could see that. Just try to get the draw with the Kaisa,
Mhm.
especially because I think I do see a retreat in his hand.
Yeah, so he can defend it.
He does need to
Going wide's pretty good too, though. Going wide
tap
is
his
pretty good too.
Kaisa thing because he only recycled 1 for the Falling Star.
Mhm. I think that's
I,
another thing too, is people just like assume that it's like it's almost like muscle memory. Like they know in their head they're doing it, they just don't do their physical action.
yeah, like like when you're playing Kaisa, you know that like you get access to that free recycle, but you do have to actually show your opponent that you're using it. Okay, so Freedom's gonna get to score up to 3 now. It's a pretty good spot to be in if you're Freedom, especially if he deploys like a Kaisa, or if he has his own. Does he have a Time Warp mana right now, or Time Warp runes? Does he have 10 runes? I think he
You're
has 10
not you're
runes.
you're not time warping right here, I don't think.
Really?
He only has 3 points.
But his opponent has 1. If you can go up 5 or even 6 to 1,
Sure, yeah, when he hits it. I thought you meant like time warp now. I'm like, brother, what?
yeah, I think Time Warp now
I
wouldn't be that
normally, if
bad.
I'm playing time warp, I normally wait until it's like I hit like 5 or 6 and then drop it.
But he may not have the same initiative that he has right now, right? Because like right now he has the battlefield. Uh, George is tapped out. There's a lot of stuff that he could do
Mhm.
if he had access to that. So okay, there's a Falling Star that's just going to take down the Noxus. Yeah, if he had access to Time Warp there, I actually don't hate going for a Time Warp
Mhm.
there because then it would give him the um, extra point and advantage. What's interesting is Freedom could have accelerated that Kaisa, but he
Yeah.
just chose not to.
Yeah, I think he's just going wide right now. Try to get ready for a push next turn.
Yeah.
Gets a draw off of the Sentry.
And notably here, George did not play his Kaisa. He's like waiting to use it.
Yeah.
I don't know
I
why.
feel like he's been doing a lot of drawing. I feel like he probably just doesn't feel like he needs to do it yet.
Possibly,
We
yeah.
might see it come out right now. Yeah,
Oh yeah, here it
exactly.
is. Okay,
Yeah.
right. That makes sense. Yeah, I thought he passed the turn. That's why I was
Mhm.
like kind of confused. He does need to find that Watcher to
Yeah.
lock this game up.
Puts him to his 3 points. So we're all tied up here. Double retreat in hand and a time warp.
Yeah,
Void Seeker 2 with 4 of. Nice.
George will go up to Time Warp runes next turn, but he's probably going to lose all his units.
Mhm.
So there is that. Either that or he'll be forced to retreat both of them.
I think you let the Puro go. I think well, Because this is the double Dreaming Tree game, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
The draws are good. The draws are good.
the draws are
Without a
good.
doubt, Kaisa's coming back to hand for sure. Like
Oh, for
100%.
sure. Yeah, you have to preserve
But
your Kaisa. Yeah.
I don't know if you don't want to save the other retreat for something down the line.
You could maybe save it for like a Watcher or a Darius. I could see that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Or even the Kaisa again.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, 100%.
It's just that you have neither of those cards, and using the
Yeah.
retreat now would dig you closer to seeing a Watcher or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I can't get a good look at Freedom's hand. I can't really tell how many cards he has or what he's working with. But he does have all the initiative here, though. He could just cook him, bro. Okay, Sentry
Interesting.
plus the smoke screen. George could respond here. He could let the smoke screen resolve and then respond with the Void Seeker. Or
Yeah, that'd be because then you
he
still
could
get to
just
draw. You don't have to use your retreat.
yeah, or you could just retreat your Kaisa if you want to.
Interesting. Just letting it go. Interesting. Managing his resources. Okay.
Does he have another Kaisa in hand?
He does not. Void Seeker over 3, tapping Kaisa, killing a Kaisa, drawing a card. Draws into Falling Star. Nice.
He must really value the point advantage here.
Mhm.
But this is Darius, you know? Like yep, retreating
Interesting.
Sapporo.
Yep. So retreat Sapporo.
Yeah, he must have valued the point advantage so much that that he decided that keeping the Void Seeker plus the retreat up on the Poro and the like just gambling that his opponent doesn't have Darius or a
Yeah.
unit.
That being said, though, obviously he has like every rune available to him almost. At this point, no Watcher. We do see Time Warp. We see Stupefy. We see Falling Star. Falling Star at the bare minimum clears out Darius.
Unless Freedom's able to play 2 spells here. Then
Oh, yeah, he would retreat his own thing. Yeah.
Yeah. I think this is so tough for George because he didn't find Watcher or Darius of his own.
Yeah.
And those are the real haymakers in this matchup. Like they are really, really good. Yeah. He's just gonna use the time warp to get the point advantage back in his favor. He's got to put back three blue runes here and use the Kaisa Survivor legend ability. So now he will be able to take an extra turn. So he passes a turn, goes up a point because he held, and now he has the point advantage. And he found his own Darius.
Yep, that's pretty good.
That is really, really good.
It doesn't look like he's happy. Interesting. I don't think he's happy with his hand.
How could you not be? I mean, this hand is fantastic. It's probably going to win you the game.
I'm assuming he's going to start Falling Star here.
Yeah.
Cycle 1, tap Kaisa, Falling Star, attempt to hit the Darius.
Let's see if Freedom has 2 spells he wants to use. And they'd have to be reactions too as well, wouldn't they?
I'd be surprised if we don't see a retreat right here.
Yeah, that's got to be the...
Oh, maybe no retreat to save the Darius.
Nothing at all.
I'm assuming his own Darius here. Unfortunately, he doesn't have access to a Kaisa. An Accelerate Kaisa would be nice right here, just taking the Dreaming Tree.
Yeah, the fact that he had to use his retreat on the Poro and not on the Kaisa was really bad. He's actually not going to go for the Darius. He's just going to go wide.
Yeah, going wide's pretty good because you can honestly just like drop Darius, take it whenever you want to. Being able to establish these units so you have bigger pushes next turn is definitely a good play.
Yeah, if he was at 6, I'd say go for the Darius, right? Because then he has to clear both battlefields, and you know your crushing. But because he's at 5, I think it's better to go wide, and because Freedom has just nothing in play. That being said, Freedom could go for his own time warp to try and take the initiative back.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like Freedom does have a second copy of Darius, which makes the most sense because he didn't have the other cards that were able to preserve the first one.
All right, Darius moving to Dreaming Tree, putting Freedom in this 5th point. So we're all tied up at 5. Before Freedom passes turn back to George.
What do you pick up there? Ooh, Cleave.
Yeah, 5 up on Freedom's side.
This is actually a really tense game.
Mm-hmm.
It's very close. But that time warp really put things in George's ballpark.
Yeah, put Freedom's back against the wall because George is now, they're all tied up, but like technically George is ahead because he can just score here this turn. George now has obviously access to more runes and has more units on board. We know that George has Darius Cleave in hand, along with Stupefy, Retreat, and Falling Star. George is in a very, very good position right now.
I think so too. I think this is going to be
It's going to be a big turn.
Yeah, it's going to be a big turn.
My first Conquer successful puts George at 6.
The road ahead is pretty much cut out for
Hextech Ray, good draw. Double Hextech Ray.
Double Hextech is crazy. That's super good.
He can just clear both these units right now. He can clear Darius with Darius Cleave. He doesn't even need to do Darius Cleave. He can do Darius, drop Hextech Ray, pop the Ravenbloom student, and then push in and kill Darius.
Yeah. Yeah, the Noxus could actually take out the Darius with the Cleave. Actually. Like he doesn't even have to burn his Darius here.
Yeah, Darius is already up because of Stupefy, so it goes 7 and a 5. There comes up a Cleave. Puts him to
this will trigger the Dreaming Tree. The second Dreaming Tree, right?
Yep.
Let's see if he remembers it. Oh, he does. What did he find there? I missed it. It's a third Hextech.
Yeah, Retreat. That makes sense. Yeah, so he's probably just saving it for this turn. And it puts George at 7.
Yep. Freedom does have every rune in play, but he needs to do a lot this next turn, and he has nothing in play. So.
And what? Freedom's played only one spell this turn, right? So Ravenbloom student was still in Hextech Ray position. Is Hextech Ray only on battlefield? Yes, at a battlefield. Gotcha.
Yeah, you can't go the back rank with that bad boy. It is nice for Freedom that he does have a student, because at least that could get over the Sentry or like potentially even get pumped up enough to trade with the Darius.
I think that's the guy who's doing Cleave Ravenbloom student. So +4 essentially.
It's also going to trigger the
Dreaming Tree. Yep.
Here comes the Hextech Ray upon resolution.
Attempting to trade currently.
Yep. The way actions work in this game is you have to wait for the action to resolve before you get priority.
The first chain.
Yeah. So even though Freedom has the pump spell, and technically the student could get eliminated by a Hextech Ray, George actually doesn't have the opportunity to use a Hextech Ray until after Freedom has used his own Cleave, and that Cleave is resolved. Here comes another Hextech Ray going after the Darius.
Interesting choice, because weren't they going to trade anyway?
I think Freedom is using that to pump up his student.
His own student just by 1, though, right?
Yeah, that doesn't do enough. Right? No, Darius is 5, and the student is 7. So George will need to play a second spell to make the Darius 7. So this forces at least another spell from
the smoke screen.
He does have a smoke screen. Okay.
So what are we, +3 off of because what he played a cleave and a Hextech Ray and a smoke screen, so he's +3 just off of that, so 5 plus what go to 8 off of the cleave, and then he has 3 damage on it from Hextech Ray.
Yeah, the Darius should fall down here, and I think George
Am I
made a
mistaken? Did they not trade?
George made a mistake.
Because one's an 8 might unit with 3 damage, and Darius is. Oh no, I forgot the smoke screen -4, so Darius goes down to 1.
Darius just dies.
Yeah,
from
Darius goes down to 1 off the smoke screen.
Yeah, and the Hextech Ray that already targeted and resolve
Mhm.
because it already has damage on it. So, yeah, I think that was kind of a missed situation there where George didn't realize that Darius was actually going to die, or maybe he did realize it, but he burned a Hextech Ray for like no reason. Low-key. Or did he? Why is that dying?
I think that's what targeted the Hextech Ray, or what the Hextech Ray targeted. Because
Did he play a third
still.
Hextech? Did I miss a third Hextech?
Oh, what was it? 8, 3 damage puts him to 5. Another Hextech Ray still just puts him to 2. The smoke screen put Darius to 1, so he should still have been 1. They're still in showdown.
Yeah, the student.
Yeah, I don't think the student dies.
Yeah, I don't think the student. I
think the student still has 1 more might on it.
Yeah. They actually should
I'm pretty
have
sure
2 more might on it because Freedom's played a bunch of spells. But hey, you know what?
Because I think it was student. What is student's base? He did play
It's
2
2.
rays. Okay. So I think
he did play 3 rays.
3 rays, and it did come.
Oh, he played 3 rays. Okay, cool. All right, and that's gonna be it. Freedom's gonna fall to the held Dreaming Tree, and George is gonna take this 2-0 in the Kaisa Mirror.
Hi guys, welcome back, and we are here after an amazing round of Kaisa versus Kaisa, and I am joined by the Kaisa guy himself, Mr. George. How you doing today, George?
I'm doing all right. Just won a good set. It was a typical Kaisa mirror, went long, and I like those games.
Nice. I was gonna say this is probably a match you've played hundreds of times already, is it not?
Yeah, but there's always something new happening to me, and always new ways to lose.
Of course, always do. I like the way you think. So, for those of you who don't know, you've been playing even before we've been playing, right? You went over to China,
That's right.
hung out with them for a few months, played the game over there, did very well at tournaments, top 8, finished first at one of them.
Yeah, that's right.
So talk to me a little bit about, I know you've mentioned it a bit online about the metagame and how it's developed differently here and how it's made a weird kind of flux in the decks that are being played. So can you talk to me a little bit about how you feel this differentiates from the China meta?
Yeah, I think that there's not as much Yi, and I think that Yi gives a lot of decks some low, I guess, skill expression losses, which makes some decks illegal to play in long Swiss rounds.
Sure.
So, for example, I think mid-range Yi versus Annie, sometimes Annie loses randomly to that deck, right?
Sure.
And so it's dangerous for a good player to bring the deck when there's 30% Yi in the room.
Absolutely.
Because you can just get auto losses. But in this meta, there's a lot more room for the purple decks.
Awesome.
So, I'm terrified of Annie, and I do what I can.
Absolutely. And I know a lot of players are hoping to hunt down the Kaisa players today playing Misfortune, Aurora. I've seen a lot of Misfortunes today. How do you feel in that matchup? Do you feel confident about that?
Of course, no one likes to play that matchup, but I brought some cards for it, and I've played it a lot in China. It was popular in China.
Very nice.
I was trying to tell everybody about Aurora, but
I did see. I follow you on Twitter, and I have seen your posts. Like, guys, this card is nuts. Like, you guys don't understand. So
I think some people wanted to bring it to Houston, and so they were downplaying the power of the deck. There's always stuff like that going on in card games. You got to watch out where you get your advice from.
Of course, yeah. Some people are trying to get the upper hand on everybody else. So
that's right.
All right. Well, I appreciate you taking the time to sit with us, and I'm sure you'll be on the table later on today. So I'm looking forward to seeing you, and good luck on the rest of your event today.
Thank you.
Appreciate you. Thank you, George.
Have a good day.
Thank you, guys. Back to you guys.